Today in crypto land, Trump wants Mexican migrant workers to pay for the wall. Will Bitcoin benefit? Delist BSV movement sees more exchanges getting on board the delisting train. A massive corporate announces that they are adopting Bitcoin payments, and big exchange news coming out of Japan. And let's just get into it, guys. The Delist BSV movement continues to gain momentum with Kraken, which has confirmed that indeed it will be delisting Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. Bitforex looks to be delisting soon, as it is currently running a poll with those in favor of delisting BSV slightly in the lead at the moment. OKX, however, has announced that far from delisting Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, will actually be partnering with the founder of a crypto wallet called RelayX in order to launch a BSV-based crypto exchange. The free market will find a way, and it should. If for some reason people want to go out and buy or sell or trade BSV, well, then you have a new exchange called Float SV. They're there for you, so have fun, I guess. By the way, SBI Virtual Currencies also delisted Bitcoin Cash. I guess they just wanted to get in on the delisting fun like everyone else. Or did they just get confused like so many other people about which Bitcoin is the alternate version of Bitcoin? I don't know. Amusing anyway. Also an interesting story today coming out of Mexico. Well, in the USA actually. A country that I feel is very underrepresented in the crypto scene overall. Now, Mexico has seen a new all-time high trading volume on local Bitcoins, $500,000 the other day. That's not that much, but this comes on the back of the announcement from the Trump White House that remittance payments of Mexican migrants in the USA will potentially keyword of course, be the target of new restrictions, essentially ending the possibility of Mexican migrant workers to be able to cheaply send money back home to their families. Heck, who are we kidding, guys? Mexican migrant workers are already being exploited by the predatory remittance companies like Western Union. They've never been able to send money home cheaply. Western Union charges up to 10%. That's brutal. Absolutely ludicrous. Now, what is essentially being discussed here by the Trump White House is a new tax on these migrant workers who are already paying on average 10% to send money home. So the number that they're currently floating around is a 3% tax on any remittances going from the USA down to Mexico. And that's not super crazy, but considering the $33.4 billion which was sent in 2018 alone crossing the border heading south, that extra 3% could mean $1 billion a year for the US government. Nothing like the rich and powerful passing laws to hurt the poor and powerless. Making Mexico pay for the wall essentially is going to mean making the poor and the powerless, who have worked hard for their money, pay for the wall. Not the government of Mexico, of course, was never going to be the case. Now look, not to get into the politics of it, 98% of the transactions that were sent via electronic means, although some people did still send traveler's checks via the mail. But that means that there is actually a very strong remittance route that is ready for massive disruption going from the USA to Mexico. Bitcoin could be the perfect answer. However, the average size of a remittance payment from the USA to Mexico is $322 last year. And the problem, of course, if the fees rise again exponentially on Bitcoin, then Bitcoin will actually not be the ideal crypto for these kind of smaller remittance payments. Maybe we're going to see Litecoin, maybe we're going to see Dash, maybe we're going to see Ethereum, or some other cryptocurrency step up to the plate in that situation. Regardless of which crypto is used, we can see that there is a clear need for disruption as government policies again seek to impede or overly exploit the free flow of money. Bitcoin is a money of freedom, free from the perversions of government, ready to enable Mexican families to send financial aid back home for a drastically lower fee than using the legacy systems. Now, if these laws pass, then I imagine most people will probably just pay the extra 3% tax and deal with getting robbed by government. Because the reality is that most people are unaware of Bitcoin. But wow, if we could spread the word to these people and get remittances happening in a really, really big way between the USA and Mexico, that's a massive market, $33 billion a year of potential for the crypto market just there. That would be massive if we can get them on board. In adoption news, Corporate Traveler, a division of Flight Center Travel Group, which if you are not familiar with them, they are one of the largest travel companies in the world. So no small deal here at all. They have begun to accept payments using cryptocurrencies. And I think that is a very exciting story for adoption news to see, again, a massive company accepting crypto. Please do keep in mind, though, this is just a division of their company, but we can certainly imagine that if the trial with Corporate Traveler does go well, then we of course can see the main flight center agency perhaps in the future accepting cryptocurrencies as well. Payments will be processed via BitPay, which will allow for payments using Bitcoin, which will then of course be auto-converted into fiat. So the company can now come out and make use of that positive marketing vibe from accepting cryptocurrency without having to worry about the notorious price fluctuations. Not needing to worry about chargebacks either, as cryptocurrency is a one-way street. And of course, they'll pay a smaller fee than the credit card companies charge, in which over time can be a massive savings for a big company like this. I think it's great to see these kind of merchants adopting this. They are definitely ahead of the curve. Now retail actually needs to be willing to get out there and pay. And this remains a stubborn issue with crypto payments actually taking off, that we're not willing to go out and pay in Bitcoin to see these merchants be supported when they do put themselves on the line and say, hey, we're going to be accepting crypto payments now. But it's the pizza problem, right? Over in Japan, one of Japan's largest online brokerages, Monex, may soon allow retail investors to buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies on its platform. Now this chart here shows that Monex is well behind the competitors, and of particular interest is that many of their biggest competitors are already into crypto. SBI, for example, has been into crypto for quite some time, and Rakuten is launching an exchange. Monex was once the leading online brokerage in Japan, but the evidence of not keeping up with the times in a Bitcoin crazy country like Japan is very obvious for all to see. Monex, by the way, bought Coincheck. You may remember it. This was the exchange that was hacked for $500 million worth of NEM last year. Can this struggling brokerage and disgraced exchange come together to build something bigger and better than the two were before? Time will tell, I suppose. By the way, Rakuten, Japan's Amazon, or so-called anyway, has begun taking registrations for its crypto exchange, scheduled to launch in June. I honestly think that we in the West fail to see just how big of a story that actually is, because, we're not really familiar with Rakuten as a brand, but when Rakuten launches its crypto exchange, I can easily see this becoming a big player in the Japanese crypto scene, which of course is one of the biggest crypto scenes anywhere in the world. If you can make it big in Japan, well, you're just big, so that's good. And our final story out of Japan also is that Japan's financial watchdog is planning to increase the internal oversight of cryptocurrency exchanges, particularly on how they store their digital assets. In focus is evaluating the security of cold wallets. This is particularly in order to ensure that proper safeguards are in place, as, of course, cold wallets are not immune to internal threats and weak internal practices, which could see, for example, inside jobs happening on exchanges. The increased scrutiny, I think, is actually a good sign considering the recent Quadriga CX mess we saw play out in Canada. And the focus on cold wallets is also, I think, inevitable after the FSA in Japan restricted the use of hot wallets by digital asset exchanges operating under its purview after, of course, a major security lapse from CoinCheck, the guys who got hacked for $500 million worth of NEM, which was stolen from their hot wallet. A situation which actually caught the FSA by surprise, and their cold wallet scrutiny, I really think, is seeking to ensure that nothing like that happens in Japan again. So overall, I think a positive from the Japanese FSA on making sure that these exchanges have the best practices in place. Thank you so much, as always, for watching today's video. You guys are supremely awesome. And if you are new around here, make sure to check out Cryptocurrency Explained. It is a free course. You can find the playlist here, or you can find it over on Udemy, or you can send your friends to thecryptolark.org. So anyone you know who is new and getting into crypto, let them know about it. It's a 5-hour course designed for beginners, but a lot of value for anyone who's been in the crypto space for a while as well. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a thumbs up on it. You can always subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.